Michelle and I, we love fresh coconut. So when we're cruising South Florida, these things are just floating around in the water, and so Michelle drives over close enough and I scoop them up with a net. So in a couple of videos here, I'm going to show you how I get the coconut out of there. The easiest way, I think it's the easiest way. But anyways, so when you scoop them up, first thing I want to do is shake it. If you can hear the liquid, you know it's a good coconut. Smell it. If it doesn't smell like anything, it's all right. Some of them smell funky. The funky ones, I just toss them back. The tools I use, you need a really stiff knife. You can see how stiff this knife is. This is actually an insulation knife. It's made by Clink. They're 14 bucks on Amazon. Great all-around knife to have on a boat, because if you lose it, you have not out too much. And it's not that sharp, and that's kind of really important here. You got a vegetable peeler. This was kind of a heavy-duty model. And any kind of a knife with a stout back on it. It doesn't even really have to be a knife, and you'll see later in a later video why. So let's start out with this one. This is probably the hardest part. It's the first cut, trying to get through the husk. And you want to insert the knife in there and rotate it. You can feel the nut, and you want to rotate that knife against the nut. This is definitely not the Boy Scout recommended knife handling technique. So you can see I'm walking that tip right down the nut. You definitely don't want to slip here like that. You might be looking at your intestine. So careful towards here. The nut is closer to the husk at the bottom. The husker is thicker at the top. The second cut, you want to take not such a huge cut. If you take a huge cut, you can see what I've got going on here. About that wide. You go any wider than that, and it's just too hard to pull the husk away from the nut. So there we go. I'll walk that blade down. I'll kind of turn the coconut a little bit, so if the knife does slip, it's just a glancing blow off my stomach instead of full insertion. Alright, so we got that. So we take the knife in there and just kind of pry that out like so and pull. And that's your number one cut. The number two cut, basically the same. You can go a little larger on this cut. And by the way, this is not a clean operation. As you can see, I've already done several, and you want to get in an area that can be easily washed. Or same with your clothes. I'm covered with coconut husk here. Walk it down. There's another. Starting to expose it. Make that third cut. It could be a little bigger, but like I say, not much, because the husk really has a pretty good grip on the nut inside. Walk the blade. So here you can see what I was talking about, where the nut is closer to the husk, or the shell, or whatever you want to call it. The outside up here is pretty thick. All right. So make another cut. Turn it away from your body. And some of these you're going to pull out of the water, and they're going to be this color, and some of them are going to be green. And see, even with that amount, I can't separate that. And I've really found that it makes no difference in the flavor. I just know that sometimes the coconuts some are sweeter than others, but I really don't know how to tell an old coconut or a sweet coconut from a not sweet coconut. They're all good. There's that piece. And there you go. There's the nut. And then